pled guilty and that they were waiting for the result of the hearing. And depending on how many days she received on lockdown will determine if she's going to be able to successfully complete the program or not. And then the follow-up to that was that she was found guilty of the violation and was on lockdown until 11/20. And
All right. This is all news to me because I didn't have this information yesterday. Yesterday, the information that was given to me by the probation officer is that there was some allegation of a note passing. That was the extent of it. And then that she had an overall bad attitude in the treatment program. And so she was discharged. And so, was there any more than that yesterday, Mr. Watson, as we discussed this case? With Ms.
That
Ramsey?
was also my understanding, as what the court just articulated, as of yesterday.
Okay.
That was my understanding as well, Your Honor.
So I don't know when did you get this information? Where was that information communicated?
That was in the case notes. Those were the emails from that were put into the case notes from JTP staff.
Okay. So then there was this issue of passing a note. Ms. Spector, can you enlighten me as to this note issue?
Yep. From my understanding, a male was sitting here, Deborah was sitting here, and he passed a note to her in the packets that were going around.
Okay. This is not something that you were there for?
No.
Okay, who was?
Our JTP counselor, Christina Triplett.
Okay, and as a result of that, what's your understanding as to what occurred after
I did
that?
see the note. What was reported to me after group was the note was passed. The counselor, Christina, asked all of the involved parties about it. They all said there was no note. And then it was reported to the officers, the correction officers, and Deborah did admit to it and handed the note to the officer, and the officer charged her with a jail rule violation of lying to staff or an officer.
And then what happened?
And then she was locked down from November 17th to November 20th.
Okay. What's the story with you?
I had no idea I was receiving anything. Again, she said
Okay, what?
the packets were passed around. I received it, held it in my hand, something fell out. I was surprised. I went, oh, grabbed it. She asked if it was a note, and I said no. Why? Fear, embarrassment, afraid to get looked at like a snitch in jail or anywhere.
What do you care about how you're looked at?
I don't.
I mean, isn't the idea for you at this point in your life to get your act
Yes.
together and stop?
Your
and
Honor,
stop putting yourself in a position where you're constantly coming in here.
Yes, that is the point.
Now, what kind of hearing was had at the jail to determine that she was going to get 3 days lockdown? Anybody know?
I don't, Your Honor. I don't know if the inspector has any more.
Okay.
But to add on a little bit, Your Honor, it was, she did get, once she got the 3 days, it was a 3 strikes.
The 3 strikes, my concern is that people who are in the jail treatment program are in the jail treatment program because they need the jail treatment program, okay? They are people who have demonstrated in their very recent past, before being in the jail treatment program, they don't have the ability to operate out in society like they should be operating, lest they wouldn't be in the jail treatment program. So now what I'm told is I got COs who take people out of the jail treatment program because they decide whatever was done warrants 3 days, which automatically kicks somebody out of the jail treatment program.
Your Honor, we also submitted an affidavit of indigency for the court with regard to the mandatory fine in that. It was notarized and ultimately signed by Mr. Pichet regarding that he is indigent and unable to pay for the mandatory fine, and we'd like the court to consider that as well. Your Honor, we would just ask the court to adopt the recommendation of prison. Thank you.
Thank you. Want to tell me before I impose sentence?
I know I've been in front of you a couple of times, and I have obviously a substance abuse problem, and I just want to let you know that, I know you're going to ask me why it's different this time, and I just hit my rock bottom, and I've started to change, people in my life since I got this charge. I remember the last time I was in here and you asked me where I was going to be staying, and I told you with my daughter's mother, and you knew that she was a drug addict, and I still continue to go against your recommendation on not going back to that environment, and it was a mistake, and I'm just always trying to outsmart the system and try to do things my way, and I realize that that's not going to do anything positive for me.
All right, thank you, Mr. Naroto.
Judge, as was discussed in chambers, the state and defense do have a joint recommendation for prison. The state would just simply stand on that and ask the court to fashion the appropriate term.
All right, I've reviewed the pre-sentence report and the drug and alcohol evaluation, the previous pre-sentence reports, and some letters that were provided to me in support of Mr. Pichet. I've considered all the provisions of 29, 29, 11, 12, and 13. The fact pattern here isn't surprising. It's been repeated over and over again. You were first sent to prison in Cuyahoga for a brief period of time in 12 and 13.